Hello, everyone. My name is Vidya Veeraraghavan. I'm a data evangelist. As an individual, I'm a very passionate person. I'm passionate about analytics, AI, and data science. As a professional, I drive business outcomes by providing direction using data and digital strategies to the organization. In my current role as artificial intelligence delivery lead, my team and I work on financial crime AI use cases. Today, I'm going to give you a glimpse of our world, artificial intelligence to combat financial crime. Since this is a 20-minute session, I will make my best efforts to raise your curiosity on this subject and how this is impacting the financial services industry. I would like to start with a quote which was published in the Harvard Business Review way back in 2017. Over the next decade, AI won't replace managers, but managers who use AI will replace those who don't. This is already the reality in 2022. AI has become an important concept to drive superior business outcomes. Some of you must be new to these concepts, so let's take a quick definition of AI and financial crime. In case you're wondering who the lady in the picture is, she is Dr. Seema Rao, India's first woman commando trainer who has trained more than 20,000 Indian soldiers without getting paid for it. Just a quick fact. So artificial intelligence, the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. I know most of you are aware of our Siris, our Alexas, and all the other AI chatbots which are coming into picture whenever you open a website. So what is financial crime? Financial crime is basically all the crimes that involve taking money or property that belongs to someone else to obtain a financial or professional gain. Let's see, money laundering, terrorist financing, fraud, your credit card, your bank fraud, your electronic crime, bribery and corruption, and a lot more. All these are forming as a financial crime. Well, little deeper understanding of what are some of the types of financial crime and their definitions. I have kept the definitions simple so that it can be understood by all of you. Well, money laundering. The money laundering is the concealment of origins of illegally obtained money, typically by means of transfers involving foreign banks and legitimate businesses. And financial fraud, well, money laundering, we will see a little more on this topic in the later slides. Financial fraud is nothing but wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. So it's a similar definition to financial crime. So we're talking about financial fraud. Well, electronic crime, any criminal activity involving use of computers as an illegal transfer of funds from one account to another, or stealing, your changing or erasing of data in an electronic data such as bank. Now, cybercrime. Cybercrime is any criminal activity that involve a computer, networked device, or a network. While most cybercrime are carried out in order to generate profit for the cyber criminals, some cybercrime are carried out against computers or devices directly to damage or disable them. So most of the banks are dealing with the firewalls cracking, hacking. So these are some of the cybercrime that we are talking about. Well, money laundering. So there are there is a cycle, there are three stages in it. Let's go one by one. Now, I want to focus your attention to this major financial crime, which has always been a nightmare, money laundering. Money laundering has these three stages. It forms a cycle, kind of it goes in and out, and it takes its turns to actually legitimate the money that we are talking about. So first stage is the placement stage. In this stage, what happens is that this is the initial stage. This is the first stage of this entire cycle. So this includes placement of illegal proceeds Most of the times these are obtained by drug trafficking or illegal funds, basically bribery. uh, Inside, you get money for insider trading. All these are actually placed in various accounts through the financial instruments. So the layering is defined as a process of using layers of these transactions, doing multiple financial transactions, using multiple instruments, and going into various accounts within the bank. So basically, the money is getting transferred from A to B, B to C. The amount is getting split. It's reaccumulating in another account. So basically, there is a lot of layers to hide the fact that the money has come from an illegal activity. So integration is the last stage where this particular amount that we are talking about, which has come in to the banking system, is finally getting utilized to buy a purchase, a property, airplane, uh, um, luxurious items, a yacht. So basically, this money, which is moved into different stages, has finally arrived to a place where it can be legitimized. So these are the three stages where the money laundering happens. So banks need to take care of this. We will see why it is important. We spoke about the stages of money laundering, right? So, but why is it important that we have to stop this money laundering? Why is anti-money laundering important? Why did I call it a nightmare to the banks? The estimated amount of money laundered globally is in 1 year is almost like 2 to 5% of the entire GDP, global GDP, which is ranging between 800 billion to almost 2 trillion amount. This is US dollars I'm talking about. And the laundered money is often used for organized crime, such as human trafficking, drug trafficking, and prostitution ring. It basically means if we don't stop this money laundering, we are indirectly financing terrorism. This is the moral obligation that we have to stop this. Also, financial institutions use AML tactics to be complaint with the regulators, protect their brand reputation, and to avoid heavy fines, IT costs, employee costs, who are going to sit and do this investigation manually, and to safeguard the risk exposure that they are exposed every day. Now, banks do face a lot of challenges. We spoke about why anti-money laundering is important. However, there are a few challenges that banks face while pursuing anti-money laundering tactics. For example, regulators have strict rules that the bank should comply by. Fraudsters are always one step or 5 steps or sometimes even 10 steps ahead. They are finding innovative ways to do the financial crime. Because of COVID, we faced a lot of manpower challenges, isn't it? And there is always constant increase in the cost because there is a lot of employee cost that you have to deploy. There is a lot of IT cost that you have to incur. All these are cutting into the business's profit. So traditionally, banks have deployed more and more manpower for these investigations. They are okay to deploy even 200 people to monitor the transactions. But we always fall short because of the advancement in the laundering activities itself. Role of AI and AML. This is where artificial intelligence and machine learning can play an important role. Throughout the compliance life cycle, that is when the customer wants to open an account or a new relationship with the bank, whether it's a credit card, a loan account, or a card account, when banks want to evaluate the risk of the existing customers, they have a liability to keep monitoring what the clients are up to. You all know about the KYC, know your customer. So it's yearly or a quarterly. Some places it's even a regular monitoring that they have to do. And the third one is actually that the monitoring of the transactions itself that the customers are doing on a daily basis to find out where the money is coming from. Is the customer actually saying what he is doing, or whether he has told us something else and now he's doing something else? For example, if there is a customer who has come into the bank as a new customer, and he has said that I am a teacher, But when we opened the account, he showed all the documents related to being a teacher. And we noted down that his source of fund is going to be a salaried income from an institution, right? Whether it's a school or a college or something. But later we saw there is a lot of transactions which are happening cash basis. So there is a lot of, there are a lot of cash deposits which are happening inside this account over a period of time from different branches without knowing, and also within the threshold that the banks cannot detect it. So when we do the review of these transactions, we identify that this person is actually claiming to be a teacher, but he is working on, laundering activities. So these are the things which can, which we can identify when we have this daily monitoring. So the key areas are to deploy AI solutions such as application scorecard. You can do a behavior scorecard and also a transaction monitoring with full automation or semi-automation, where the mundane chores are left to the AI and the specialized investigations are triggered to the AML specialist for them to investigate this in detail. Now, moving on to the applications of AI technologies. So there are multiple ways how you can deploy your AI solutions into this process itself. The first one should be the machine learning and artificial intelligence. So basically, you can bring in your supervised and unsupervised algorithms into the system, and you detect the customer's behavior pattern and see if there are any outliers, and then go and find out, dig deeper to find out what kind of behavior pattern change that you see, whether it is in sync with other transactions for the period, or is it going to be completely different out of the blue. If the customer is regularly spending 20,000 in a month and suddenly he is spending more amount, which is probably 200% more or 300% more, and there is a source of fund which is coming in which is not in sync with the customer's behavior, and then we have to dig deeper to find out where this money is coming from. And then you can also deploy intelligent automation. Basically, your analytics and your RPA together, they form the intelligent automation. So you can use that as your go-to solution. And you can also deploy the natural language algorithms, which will again help you to be AML compliant. Last but not the least, which is catching up pretty much in every banking industry, is the network analysis using knowledge graph. So what we will do is we will basically sync up our customers with all the customers that we know of, all the transactions. There's a lot more that you can do by identifying where the money is coming from, who is related to whom, and how the transactions are happening over a period of time. But all these come along with challenges. Don't we all see challenges everywhere? So in AI tools specific, we do have data management and AML and KYC analytics as challenges. And you have the power and IT capabilities. That is again, how much can you spend on these? Because it's going to be a huge investment, and how you're going to manage it over a period of, and it's going to be a digital transformation also. So how you're going to manage the cost. And then the regulatory dependence, because it's rule-based approaches have been, so far we have been doing that. Now we are going to bring in the AI concept into it. Are we going to be compliant? Are we going to be deploying responsible AI solutions? Are these going to be ethical? Are these going to show some bias? Those are the things that come into picture. Now, the resistance to move to cloud itself has been a great barrier in the banking industry, because a lot of us are using traditional banking systems, and the systems are so ingrained that moving from an on-prem to cloud itself is a big challenge. Now, technology and AML solutions are not freely available It has to have a lot of expertise going inside, bringing in the right technology, investing in it, and find the right solution. Because if you're going to bring in a vendor to solve your problem, the vendor's trained models may or may not work with your particular bank's data. So you have to deploy more manpower, more expertise into with the use of your own bank's data or your own financial services data, so that your model is trained to attack the right problems with your bank's data. So all these said, this is definitely taking a lot of importance. Banks always have a special soft corner to be a AML complaint, because it has a lot of repercussions. Now, if you see the improvements that are coming in and the widespread acknowledgement of AI solutions available, now people are moving into that direction. Managers and the organization are they are trying to be more AI friendly, cloud friendly, digital transformation friendly, and that's how we can make an impact, and we can be at least two steps ahead of the fraudster or the bad actors in the industry. So there ends my today's presentation. I'm sure you would all like to connect with me, and I am dying to connect with you all. This is how I connect with my partners. So you can look me up in LinkedIn, and this is where I'm quite active. And that's all for today. You all have a nice rest of the day. Thank you.